Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Average Korean Man from South Korea. What a lovely day it is today to do outdoor activities. These days, the weather is just amazing here in Korea. It's perfect. I think the weather is gonna be perfect until the end of October or the beginning of November. So I am trying to enjoy the weather as much as possible when I can. It's gonna be cold after like mid-November, so yeah. Anyways, I'm out here hiking. As you can see, I'm in the middle of the mountain here in Korea, and this this hiking place is actually right behind my place, my house. So yeah, it's very easy to access. Here in Korea there are a lot of mountains, and the famous hiking places are always full of people, like really full. But this one over here is empty, as you can see. No one here. So this mountain is a good place to come whenever I want to have some free time or some quiet time by myself. Good morning, squirrel. Oops, he's running away. Anyways, today I would like to talk about why there are so many apartments here in Korea, the pros and cons of living in apartments here in Korea. I'm not sure if you have been to Korea, but if you have been to Korea, you would have probably realized that there are a lot of apartments here in Korea. Like a lot. The experts say that about 60 to 70% of Korean land is mountains, and some of them are high, some of them are more like hills. And here in Korea we have a population of 51 million, and 10 million live in Seoul, and another 10 million live around Seoul. So 20 million out of 51 million live in Seoul or around Seoul. Here in Korea we call it 수도권, which means nearby Seoul. So about a little less than half the population live around Seoul or inside Seoul, and about 60 to 70% of the land is mountains. So we don't have enough flat land to build many houses for all the population, for the people. So the government has decided to build apartments, a lot of apartments, so a lot of people can fit inside small area. And the purpose of building apartments was really good, actually, because a lot of people can fit inside small, small land, small area. And that is why we have so many apartments here in Korea. And I'm going to talk about the pros first. Pros of living in apartments, pros of having apartments. So the pros, I would say, it's everything is within walking distance. That's the biggest positive thing, I would say. There are like 2-3 convenience stores only 5 minutes away on foot. Not only that, there's police station nearby probably, and 911 is gonna be there nearby. We have two different things actually. We call it 119 and 112. 112 is police, 119 is for the firefighters. Anyways, yeah. And the big supermarkets, one of the big supermarkets will be within like 10 to 15 minutes on foot. All the hospitals are gonna be there nearby. And all the restaurants are nearby, and you can pretty much find everything nearby if you live in one of the apartments. You can also get delivery food, you know, just like that. Western food, Korean food, Japanese food, Chinese food, Vietnamese, whatever. Everything's gonna be around the apartments. So those are the pros of living in apartments. Whoa, I don't know what the hell happened here, but it wasn't like this before. I haven't been to this mountain for a long time, and it has changed. I think maybe there was a big fire here, I don't know. The government is planting new pine trees again. Look, these over here. You see many of these sticks. I'm not sure if you can see through the video, but there are many of these sticks over here, and I think they're planting new pine trees here. Like this one over here. What the heck happened? Anyways, now I'm going to talk about the cons of building a lot of apartments. So if you've been watching my videos, you would probably know that I've been talking about how Korean society is very competitive. You know, people judge others by their looks. That means by what they're wearing. For ladies, it will be something like what kind of bag they are having. And for men, it will be something like what kind of car they're driving. And also what kind of house people live in as well. And I think all those comparing and the competitive society comes from apartments. I cannot say living in apartments is the only reason, but I think I can say it's one of the reasons why those things are happening here in Korea. That's because, look, the definition of apartments is probably different depending on which country you live in. But here in Korea, when you say apartment, it means like buildings that has 20 floors and like hundreds of houses in one building, and like 10 of those buildings. That's we call apartments. So apartment here in Korea means 1,000 like houses in a couple of buildings in a small amount of area. So about 2 to 4 people live in one house, and 1,000 houses like that. So like probably 2,000 to 4,000 people living in the same apartment in a small amount of area. And when you live in an environment like that, you know, when you live like with people very close together and they share the same you know, parking lots and everything, you get to know what kind of cars people are driving and what kind of lifestyles people have and things like that. So I guess people become more like competitive naturally. People are gonna see other cars and be like, oh, this guy is driving a better car than I do, and we live in the same apartment, so I should get a better car. You know, things like that. Anyways, I personally think apartments is one of the reasons what made people more competitive, because you can tell what kind of lifestyles, you know, people are having around you, since there are so many people around you. And I guess it just becomes competitive naturally, I think. Alright guys, let's take a little rest here. here in Korea, even the apartments are built by the conglomerates, and the apartments have brand, and the apartments that are built by one of these conglomerates are considered as better and more expensive apartments. There is Hill State apartment that's built by Hyundai, and there is like Lotte Castle that's built by Lotte, of course, and things like that, and those are considered as better and more expensive apartments. And people also judge others by which apartment they live in. So kids these days ask their friends in the kindergartens or at their schools, ask their friends, what kind of apartment do you live in? And if somebody says, I live in blah 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 apartment, this kid would go like, oh, I live in a better apartment. And they also ask, what kind of car does your dad drive? Things like that. They compare other kids. And you might think this is bullshit. You might think I'm lying. I am not lying. This is really happening here in Korea. And it's very common actually. It's not rare. This is not a rare case. It's common. So not only the adults, but kids these days judge other kids by what kind of apartment they live in, by what kind of car their parents drive. And this is a serious problem, I think. And now there is a new thing between kids these days. This is something new in Korea. So about 3-4 days ago, I've talked about why Koreans travel overseas a lot. And if you haven't watched that video, it will be better for you to watch that video first and then watch the rest of this video. And you know, because kids these days fly overseas a lot, they make fun of other kids who don't travel overseas during their vacations. And that's just insane. So kids be like, hey dude, I went to Singapore with my parents for this summer vacation. Did you go anywhere this summer vacation? And if another kid says, no, I stayed in Korea, and others would make fun of this kid. Oh, what? Oh, why did you not travel overseas this vacation? Because your parents don't have enough money, or because your parents work, or blah blah blah. And they make fun of the kids who do not travel overseas during the vacations. And there is actually a new word for that between kids. It's called Kagan GOI. This is a very new word. I've never heard of this before until a couple days ago. Kagan GOI, which means Kagan means attending to school every day, every single day, you know, without skipping. That means Kagan means that. GOI means beggar, poor guy. So Kagan GOI, which means this kid attends school every day without, you know, skipping a single day, because he doesn't have enough money to travel overseas. So he's poor, so he cannot travel to other countries, so he has to go to school every single day. And kids make fun of other kids who attend to school every single day. That's called Kagan GOI. That is crazy, guys, crazy. And again, you might think I'm overreacting or I'm exaggerating, but I am not, really. This is happening here in Korea. Yeah, anyways, I just wanted to tell you another thing that is going on here in Korea among kids, which I think is insane. This country is going crazy. Yeah, I am going to end my video here today, guys. Thank you for watching my video once again. See you next time. Bye bye.